Goodness. There we are.
Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Thank you to the wonderful voice who introduces me. Let's lower this. And I'm Bonnie D. Happy to be here. I have a wonderful panel. I know them all well. And we're revisiting a topic. I have to go back and count. Let's see. We started this topic on Technology Revolution in September 25th, 2024. Continued it on November 20th. Tom, I think, and Simon, you might have been with me, February 5th. And now it's May 7th, 2025. So this is technically part 4, I think. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're all good friends, and we're going to talk the future of the automotive circular economy, known familiarly to a lot of people around the world as CE. I think that stands for a lot of other things as well. What is driving the experience? And we're talking about AI. So I would like to start my opening. Everybody good? You all happy to be here? Let me see some smiles there. There you go. Tom, Madonna, I've known you, what, for 12 years, 15 years, from back from SAP Game Changers radio days, which I started in 2011. I met you a few years after. Simon Meitz, somebody invited you on this show years ago, and I met you when, Stefan, you're not going to believe this. Simon was walking around on a stage with an earpiece, and he was speaking as a futurist on the show, but he wouldn't sit down. He was pacing on a stage. I've never had a guest, and you were making me nervous, but you were brilliant. You were brilliant, and I liked you anyway. And then Stefan came to me through Simon in an introduction, and so here you are. So I'm happy to have all three of you. So let's see what's going on here. All right, here we go. My notes say start here. Welcome, global audience, to Technology Revolution's Glow. We're glowing with Bonnie D on her Scarlett Mic. I'm the host of the show. We rev our engines for a ride so profound where AI meets circularity and spins the world around. From parts reborn to plastics renewed, that's for you, Stefan, a smarter, greener future is now readily pursued. So buckle up as today's futurists steer their part. See all the metaphors in there? With bold predictions served up a la carte. Here we go, Tom, Madonna. Tom knows the auto game well, from factory floor to where the end users dwell. At SAP, he drives bold insights with flair, transforming the future with analytic care. Tech, process, profit, Tom aligns each gear with global travel, fine wine, and fishing near. Decades of wisdom in digital delight. Tom helps tomorrow's roads run right. That's new. What do you think, Tom? Like it? Sylvia's getting better and better. You're muted, dear. Sylvia's getting better and better at this, and I like what you. I'm glad. Let's go to Simon. Simon J.A. Mites. Simon helps shape circularity plans with skill. From EY to Roarin, he's climbed the hill. Carbon neutrality and ESG flow. Simon crafts green futures wherever he go. I had to fix that so we could use go with flow, Simon. With math, law, and strategy sharp and wise, Simon sees clean industry through his global eyes. Kazakhstan to London, he's got the map, designing a world with a sustainability wrap. What'd you think?
Beautiful. I like the new version. Thank you.
I'm glad. You're welcome. I'll thank Sylvie for you. We worked on it about 20 minutes ago together. Stefan Caba is here. He sees plastic as the new hope, not doom. Designing green vehicles with room to zoom. From carbon fiber to wood strong grace, Stefan finds reuse in every space. AI and circular dreams are aligned. No waste allowed is Stefan's brilliant mind. Innovation's pulse beats strong in his band, building tomorrow's cars that truly stand. Stefan, what'd you think?
Perfect.
Oh, perfect. I wasn't sure. You were nodding back. I was watching. Body language is saying, I'm not sure about this. Okay, that's fine. Stay tuned, dear audience, as we explore this revolution in tech innovation and much more. AI meets the automotive circular economy right here with Bonnie D and her Scarlett Mic and three savvy futurists. It is ours to steer. So all in all, how'd we do? Pretty good for an opening? What'd you think?
Good.
I have to freshen it up every time because I'm afraid, especially Tom is going to come back and say, "But 2 months ago, Bonnie, you read the same intro for me. I mean, what's the matter? Can't you freshen this up a little bit?" Well, Simon might say it, but I'm sure Tom would. And Stefan is too new, so he wouldn't really worry about that too much. So let's go around the table. Let's fill in a couple of blanks before we go to our predictions, please. And let's see a little bit about what else has been happening since you were on a couple of weeks ago. Tom, talk to us. Go ahead. And welcome back.
Been a busy 25 as we start to get through the new restructure, which, from SAP, that's typically every couple years.
Mhm.
We are basically moving forth with the industry strategies. And so, as my background, Pete's, I talk with the industry leads and all the C-suite about how we can use technology and AI to help increase the bottom line, decrease costs, and improve efficiencies.
And personally, what about fishing and cooking and wine? Any updates you want to give us, what you've been doing?
At this point in time, fishing, I'll have a couple exhibits this coming summer. I was in Maui for a bit in the spring, but too expensive. Gas is still relatively outrageous over there, so I'll fish in the Gulf here coming up. Food every day, every night, and then wine. I'm now exploring the no-nos and the other ones that are proxies, etc. So
Thank you very much. By the way, I know you know some people who have their own vineyards, especially one with Orangello, and I asked them to come on the show and talk about the future of wine and AI. And they told me very politely AI is not part of the wine world at all yet. So they told me to go buzz off and find something else to invite them. So if you know anybody who's using technology, same for you, Stefan and Simon, anybody in the wine world who's using technology, I'd like it to be AI, but it doesn't have to be. I'd like to do the future of wine and tech. We could expand it. I don't know if that person would accept a re-invitation, Tom. He was pretty mad at me. We don't have AI here in my part of the world. We just drink, make wine. That's all. Okay. Anyway, not a good invitation. Thank you, Simon. What has it been? 10 minutes since you were on the show? I don't know, 12 minutes maybe. Why don't you fill in the blanks? Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to. Anything new in business or work life or
I
anything you
think
want? Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just like quite surprised that actually Kazakhstan made it into your poem this time, which is
Yes.
interesting. And just just literally by coincidence, I actually found the my entry card from Kazakhstan. Can you see that here?
Yes, yes,
I was
yes,
just
we saw.
tidying up my desk the other day. Um, and that was for the ways to achieve the goals of the Paris Agreement and carbon neutrality in Kazakhstan. So, super exciting event at that point. I still remember all this bomb sniffing dogs, I think 1 or 2 hour security checks. And I think I met, first of all, the president of Kazakhstan, which was amazing, and all his leadership team there. Um, and I was allowed to give a speech in front of all of them about the new development in the European Union, about CBAM and so on. So I think that fits in quite well here. We've come quite far. There are new developments, particularly in the ELV sector now, and in terms of circularity in the automotive industry. So it's cool to still be in that space and to see that we're actually pushing and moving ahead.
Moving ahead, driving ahead, steering forward, getting
Driving
in
ahead,
gear,
exactly.
right? Tom, I think I put in gear in your introduction. I was very glad Sylvia saw that. Sylvie, she's French. Sylvie saw that one. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Simon. And anything new on the business front for you? Any new affiliations or any new companies? Anything you want to share, or is it too soon?
Too soon to share anything,
Okay.
but there's quite a lot going on in the background right
I
now.
had a feeling. Okay, Simon will have some announcements soon, but I have to keep inviting him back every 3 weeks so we get the announcements. There you go. Dr. Stefan Caba. Caba, you told me it's Zaba. I'm happy to say that. I met a gentleman
Mm.
yesterday who was talking about, from a different culture, who was talking about zones in some planning scenarios with software, and he couldn't pronounce the Z in zone, and he used a J. So he'd say, when we're planning our Jones, and it was very interesting for 5 hours listening to the word Jones when everybody was trying to translate it to, I've never quite heard that. So I'm happy to call you Zaba. There we go. Stefan, welcome back. Let's hear some updates from you. Go ahead.
Updates. We heard something about traveling from the others. I've not really been traveling that far, but I was in Amsterdam at Rematec as an example, which was a nice experience about remanufacturing. Met some good friends and really exciting to see how circular economy before recycling may look like. This was really good. And yeah, and I had some other business trips, but maybe not enough to mention. They
Okay,
were nice.
tell us about what we're looking about, the EDAG picture behind you. What are those, who are those people on the bicycles? And is that a car with the big glass dome on it? Tell us, what is that?
Uh, yeah, this is a more or less generative, but this more or less stands for all the vehicles we are working on. So we are really not only working on personal vehicles, but also on bikes, on really on aircraft. So at the beginning of the year, we have a very huge workshop where the people used to work with passenger vehicles. But this year it happened the first time they were working on bikes, on aircraft, and on buses, autonomous buses at once, and there was no car at all. So it was really nice to see that also this business is evolving, and we are spreading also the entire work into other industries more and more. Not only focus on automotive, but it's still the core, but it's not everything.
Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Let's go to our predictions. I'm sorry, before predictions, I want to do the quotes. You all sent some really cool quotes. Let's do these quickly. Tom sent a quote from, do I have the right one here? Sunny Weaver from Draft Day, correct, Tom? That's the one?
It still applies. Yep.
Still applies. Okay, we live in a different world than we did just 30 seconds ago. Sunny Weaver, played by Kevin Costner, Draft Day, 2014 American sports drama film. Why don't you tell us a little about what this has to do with our predictions today? Go ahead.
I think the predictions are in alignment in regards to things change and continue to change as we advance, as we basically grow, as we learn. So what was the standard a minute ago is not the standard now. And as you start to look at what first generation, fourth generation, eighth generation are going to be within the AI models, within the execution, how we encompass it, what we do with it, those are all going to be things that will continue to grow as we get farther down into the decade and start to come up with common approaches and common technologies.
Is it changing that fast every 30 seconds? What do you think?
I think it's changing within every couple weeks to a month. Definitely, maybe not as fast as seconds, but Skynet's not working by itself yet.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. Simon, I'm going to your quote. I know you did a whole promo for this show using the quote, and I have the whole line. It's from Austin Powers, played, of course, by Mike Myers. I won't mention what he's been doing now in short appearances on a certain Saturday Night Live show. I didn't say the name. This is a catchphrase you're quoting here from Austin Powers, an American satirical spy comedy set of films, 1997, 1999, 2002. I think we're long overdue for a new version of that, don't you, Simon? Let's see. Austin Powers, created by Mike Myers. He's a British spy as well as his arch nemesis, Dr. Evil. The series consists of the International Man of Mystery, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and Goldmember. There we go. The series is a satire of many films and characters, particularly skewering James Bond and Jason King, and elements of popular culture as it follows a British spy's quest to bring down his nemesis. Powers represents an archetype of 1960s swinging London with an advocacy for free love, obscure impressions, and his clothing style. The film pokes fun at outrageous plots, sexual innuendos, stock characters associated with spy films. There we go. And do you know how he got inspiration to create this character, Simon? Do you know the story?
No,
I'm about to tell you. It's very appropriate to our show today, Stefan and Tom. Mike Myers had the idea for Austin Powers when he was driving home one night in his car, there you go, from ice hockey practice. He heard The Look of Love by I'm sorry about that, Burt Bacharach on his car radio, and he said to himself, where have all the swingers gone? Of course, in his accent, not mine. And therefore, he conceived the character of Austin Powers. So here's the line. Simon is quoting, yeah, baby, yeah. And the long version is, yeah, baby. Oh, groovy, baby, baby. Very shagalitic. Baby, yeah. Stay very cool, baby. Oh, contra, baby. Smashing, baby. Did I kill that one, Simon? I'm sorry. Shagadelic?
Yeah,
Shagadelic.
baby.
Shagadelic. Go ahead. Help me out here, Simon. Rescue me. Go
So
ahead.
it's actually, yeah, it's yeah, baby. And I think this is
Simon,
quite,
move back. We're cutting off the
can I,
top of your head.
like
Well,
this,
look,
better?
that's much better. Thank you very much. Go
Perfect.
ahead.
So he says, yeah, baby. So as you said, it's this catchphrase. And I think why did I choose that quote? It's about what makes you actually say "yeah, baby" when you drive a car. So in the olden days, it was all about emotions, the thrill of acceleration. Um, this is changing now a bit. Maybe we have different tribes, different kind of customer segments that are driving the car. Um, is it maybe the confidence of knowing that the car is the smartest car out there, the most circular car, and it's always up to date? Um, and it boils down to what makes you shout, yeah, baby. So, what is the driving experience that makes you buy a car? And I think we're looking at a driving experience here. And also, that sounds really much like a consumer question. I think that's exactly what the car makers must ask themselves right now to define their strategy to lead tomorrow's markets. And I think we can see this change in the automotive industry already happening from consumers moving away from these, let's say, some of the European legacy brands more into the Chinese market, and particularly in the Chinese market and the Chinese brands. We see that they're a lot more built around this driver's lifestyle, the driver's experience, and not so much about the drivetrain. And I think that's something that's very much worth exploring a bit more. And a modular design, circularity, as well as AI are one of the key levers to make that development happen and to make it possible. So
Thank you
that's
very
why
much.
I chose that
Yeah,
quote.
baby. And I posted the wheels of the bus go round and round on LinkedIn about an hour and a half ago. And I said, when those wheels make their final trip on the bus, on the car, on the taxi, where do they go? And where do the other parts go? And that's what circularity is how do we reuse, recycle, repurpose, all of that good stuff rather than, yes, we know. So anyway, that was my little song. And I said to people, if you have an earworm for that song, here's the origins of it. It's way many years ago. Thank you very much. Stefan, I'm looking at your new quote here. This is a quote from 3 words. We love 3-word quotes. King Theoden, played by the late Bernard Hill, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, a 2002 epic high fantasy adventure film. I have the link to the clip. It was spoken in the last 2 seconds of the clip. Theoden is the king of Rohan, who is under Saruman's spell until Gandalf heals him so he can lead his people once more. Theoden is a fictional character in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. Of course, there we go. Directed by Peter Jackson. I think that's all I'll read for the background because we want to get to the quote. So it begins. Stefan, that's such a purposeful, perfect quote for so many purposes. How did you
Yeah.
find this one? Go ahead. I love it.
Yeah, actually, this is not this is quite famous because it's used in so many memes and so on. But I was thinking about we have been preparing so many technologies and things for circular economy and also AI tools, etc. But honestly, I think we are not using most of them. And whatever will come up, we are prepared for that. It's not like it's just happening with us. So if there is a new regulation, if there is, I don't know, new customer demands, new threats on, I don't know, global politics, whatever, we are prepared for that. So let's see what happens. So now it begins. Yeah. It won't kill us. This is what I think it says. And even if it does, we have done all we could do. And so it begins.
I like that attitude. So it begins. I should say that at the beginning of all of my shows. I'm Bonnie D, my Scarlett Mic. So it begins. Can I use that, you think, for all the shows?
You
Tom,
could, yeah.
Tom, what
Yeah.
do you think? Should I start opening the shows like that? Yeah, I think that we got some good quotes here. Thank you all for the quotes. I appreciate that. So let's go to predictions. I've already put one for Tom into the chat for him, and let me read this one. And we're going to rock and roll on circularity for cars and car parts. So here we go. Predictive maintenance and warranty analysis will reduce the cost of vehicle maintenance and increase the design efficiency across the industry. Here we go. By the end of 2027, by over 75%, with the use of AI in its abilities to analyze over 15,000 data points of vehicle captures every minute it's on the road. Today, only up to 15% of that data is used by dealership and OEMs. That's a lot to unpack. Tom, why don't you bring that down to lay terms for us and tell us what it means and why it's so good? Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, right now your most of your sensors are picking up and then basically turning a light on. So they're turning a light on the front piece. Let it be a check engine light, let it be a low tire light, whatever it might be. So you do see some of that data being pulled today in a 10 to 15% structure. What you don't see happening is across the board a wireless connection that would then go back to the OEM and basically make a call that says this particular car is failing, this particular car needs to be brought in, let's go ahead and make an appointment, etc. So as AI starts to look at those pieces, it needs to delineate between those things that are going to be positive and those things are going to be negative, and what's going to be a false positive versus a false negative, and get the car in when it needs to go through. So let that be predictive execution in the next 15,000 miles, or let that be, hey, if you don't do this by the time you get to the corner, you're going to have a blowout. So I think the problem you run into is not so much that the data's not there, it's just that we haven't had enough capacity and enough knowledge to actually go through that particular data structures to pick out those things that are important for us to actually look at. And I think AI is being looked at that in regards to how the design is occurring. It's being looked at in regards to how the service bulletins are actually being put together. And next thing is going to be pushing that information back out to the customer to make sure the customer is getting that information and can react accordingly in regards to bringing the vehicle in when it needs to come through. So I think a lot of it's just the capacity and the power that the applications are starting to provide, and then what that's going to mean in regards to the user experience.
Thank you very much. Very, very, and we are talking about experience today. Stefan or Simon, want to comment on anything that Tom shared with us? What do you think? Next 15,000 miles, important? I have a comment if nobody else. Stefan, you look like you want to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds good because I really also see, I hope so, because I'm also one of the customers, and I hope that my car won't just tell me there's a problem, go to the workshop. Would be better to, if the car or let's say the brand would know, okay, there's a problem, but you could still drive for decent kilometers or miles. And even if there is a problem showing up in the next 100 or 1,000 miles, if it was predicted that there will be the problem and they know there will be, I don't know, I will be in the workshop anyway in 1 month or so, and it would not say, oh no, oh, there's a problem, and not just molest me and say, come on, this will be fixed once you're there. This would be quite good, yeah.
It would be very good. Simon, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think the data topic, I think in my mind is super exciting, is super crucial to move the automotive industry forward. There's so much potential, but particularly in Europe, there's a lot of people are quite scared of sharing data. So if you think about the data is in your car, so the car shows you the data first of all. So that's, let's say, circle number one. That's fine. You're comfortable with that. So the next step would be, okay, am I sharing that with someone? Am I not only sharing that with my mechanic? Am I also sharing it with the OEM? Maybe I share data that I have in my car from my sensors or whatever, also with other cars. Are cars allowed to communicate across platforms, across brands? It's a security topic. It can make cars a lot safer. It can, let's say, accelerate that development in terms of testing, in terms of driving experience, all of that a lot. It can make it a lot faster, and also it can help if we would share, let's say, maintenance data, not only across all cars of one brand, but also across brands and all users. Everything around predictive maintenance, everything around traffic, everything around security can become so much better. And that would be like the new mobility on 4.0, probably on steroids. That would be amazing. But I think there's a lot of legislation and a lot of, how can I say that? A lot of walls that need to be still broken down to get there. And they're not from a technological standpoint, but they're in the people's minds and how they are protecting this data.
I want to say that about 10 years ago, Tom may remember this, when I was hosting the Future of Cars with Game Changers for SAP. One of the hot topics, Simon and Stefan and Tom, we talked about all the time was who owns the data? Who owns the data in your car? Do you own it? Does the OEM own it? Does the dealer own it? Does the manufacturer own it? How can you protect it? How much does it know about you? What is it recording? What is about your driving habits? About what you maybe say in the car? About what you play on your we weren't sure, and we've been talking about this, Simon, for a long time, and it's still an issue. When you said mobility 4.0, I was thinking mobility on Hot Wheels or souped up wheels or something like that. But I have a quick story before I ask Tom if he has any comments back to you. I drive about 8 miles a week. I work from home, and I'm a broadcaster, and this is my life, and it's fine. I go to the supermarket. It's about 3.5 miles away. Okay, once a week. That's fine. And for Red, once a month, which is 8 miles in the other direction, round trip. Okay, so the car is barely used. So 3 weeks ago, on the dashboard, I drive a beautiful little black Z4, BMW Z4 convertible. And I haven't put the top down yet this year because it's still raining too much here. And I get on the dashboard, time for an oil change. You will damage your engine if you don't. Time for an oil change. So every time I turn on the car, once a week, I get time for an oil change. So I know last year my family came and they took it somewhere for me. I said, oh, have fun with my car. Go take it to a place to get the oil change. And they did. The place they took it didn't have the computer to turn off the message on the board. So my friend from across the street and I sat in my car and we played YouTube videos on how to fix the message on the BMW dashboard. And we finally found a video. It was tip number 16 on how to get more from your car. And we turned off the message. So that was a year ago. So I get the message now. And I said to a friend, come, let's go into the next city where they have a lot of places for cars, nothing here, and just a gas station. And I said, let's go get my car. So I called up this national chain, not to be mentioned, and I said, do you have I need full synthetic oil and I need a BMW oil filter. We don't carry those. Go buy it yourself. So they told me where to go. Well, the first place I went didn't carry it. So I went to the second place and they told me Josh was there and he said, I'll have a couple of them for you. They're $12 and I'll put them away for you. We have them in stock. Great. I go the next day. There's no Josh who works here. We have no idea who you talked to. We don't think we carry it, but they did carry it. So I bought 2 of them. Drove across the street to the oil change place, which told me they would do it. And a bunch of young men gather around the car. And I try to get out. Tom, I'm driving up on one of those things that's going to be a lift, and it's like bricks on the side of the car that are slippery. And I had to have them help me get out of the car. And as I get out of the car, they said, we're not doing it. I said, why? They said there's something about the oil pan in the BMW. It has a very interesting magnet. Once we take it out, we can't get it back in. And I said, but you just serviced my car 1 year ago. They said, I'm sorry, we're turning you down. I said, what am I supposed to do? I just went and bought the oil filters. They said, there's another place down the road, full service. Maybe they'll do it. Good luck. And they helped me get back in my car over this horribly unsafe thing, which was scary. And I drove down the block and I said, hi, just came from your competitor. And they said, You cannot go into the shop. We have insurance rules. We're happy to put the car into the garage for you. Just give us the keys. Thank you. We'll take your filter. Give us 30 minutes and we'll do everything, including a special inspection. We'll change the filter. We'll make sure everything is fine. Just sit here and have a nice morning. And that was it. And they changed it. So I called up customer service from the first place and I said, "You told me." And they said, "We have no idea why they turned you down." So I went to the website of this place, the first one, and it said, "Local shops have the privilege of refusing service to certain brands at their discretion." It's right there. Customer service national doesn't know that, but the local shops do. So these boys said to me, "We'll do it. We won't do it. We do it. Get out of the car, get back in the car, take your damn car and go away." So that was my but the new place I went to, Tom, they had the computer and they turned off the warning on the dash and I didn't have to figure it out myself. So I lucked out for under $100. I got the oil, I got the service, and so you have any comments about predictive maintenance? Simon, Stefan, Tom, go ahead. Anybody want to? This is real life.
Just asking, under $100 for new oil?
Yep.
I should move to the US. That's
actually
cheap.
expensive, Stefan.
I have a guest room. If I went to
that's expensive because it's synthetic. If you were to do regular,
Synthetic.
it would probably be 35 or 40.
If I went to the dealer, it would have been a $300 trip for the deal, the BMW dealer. It would have been a $300 day. That's how they are. But anyway, I'm not bashing the dealer, but I'm just trying to say I was thrilled. It was actually under $90. I was thrilled to get out of there, and the dashboard light was off when I put it on. It says "Welcome," not "Warning, you're ruining your car."
I'm sure you know where you're going for next. You won't be going back to the other place.
Oh no! Oh, absolutely not. I told them I was sending all my friends to this new place anyway, which also is a national brand. So much for predictive maintenance. So much for. And what's interesting is that they gave me a filter in the box of the one I handed them, and it's brand new and it's white. It has a little loop in a package, but it's not the one for my car. So I think they gave me their stock filter because it's not dirty. So what am I supposed to do with it? Throw it out? Sell it to somebody? Put it on eBay? I don't know. It's a brand new filter, and they put it back in the box of the one I brought them.
Put it on eBay without any warranty.
Okay. Anyway, that's my story. And I'm
more to ship than it's worth.
There you go. I'm teasing. I just wanted to share the story. So much for predictive maintenance and so much for being able to. We don't talk about who's going to do the service, who's going to have the tools, who's going to be able to say, "Yes, we'll help you treat your car with respect," and all of that. So anyway,
but honestly saying, the predictive maintenance, or if it's organized by the OEM, they will say you have to go to the BMW certified workshop and then you pay $350. And this for me is not or any other brand. It's the same with any brand, I guess.
I guess so.
For me, the data isn't really the issue, but I'm always afraid that they try to get more money from me with that. If they cannot allow me even switching off the signs or changing the wheels, whatever. So the very simple things.
Yep.
And this is my real issue about that. I don't care about my data. They allow to know where I'm driving, wherever, and what I'm doing. But I don't want them to press more money out of me.
Mm-hmm.
But guess where the main business of OEMs is?
Yeah, I know. I know. It's after sales.
Finance and service.
There you go. There you go. So thank you very much. Let's go on. I hope you enjoyed my example. I had to tell somebody about it. Simon, let's look at your prediction number one. This is interesting. As AI reshapes mobility, the world will be split between those who still drive for the thrill and those who let the car drive while they chase experiences inside a moving lounge. I'm almost afraid to ask what they're chasing in the moving lounge while the car does the driving. That sounds like a mystery or novel.
I don't want to know what you're thinking here.
You know what I'm thinking. Go ahead. I'm putting you on speaker so I can get out of the way here. Simon, what did you have in mind with this prediction? Go ahead. Regale. Make us laugh. Go ahead. No,
So
make us think.
Since today is a lot about driving experience, I think it's we have to focus a bit on the customer segments as well. So you have to know what the customer really wants, and you need to know who the customer really is, and then you can use AI to reshape mobility, not to a one-size-fits-all car or driving service, but to that specific segment. So in my mind, focus is key here. We talked about the Chinese manufacturers that focus a bit more about the whole experience. And I just want to highlight two different tribes here. I think one of them could be called the driving purists. Maybe the ones that BMW tried to sell to when they talk about the slogan Freude am Fahren. So the sheer driving pleasure. It's about the experience of driving, holding the wheel, hearing the car. So the driving itself is the experience already. Maybe those guys want a manual transmission, very analog feedback. They want to hear an engine roar. They want to have something under the hood. Then it's all about horsepower. And I've heard about like something. I mean, also from BMW, for example. I mean, they use people actually to design the sound of, not when we're not talking about the engine now, we're talking about how does it feel when you shut the door of a car. This like satisfying flop, yeah. With Mercedes, for example, as well. Does it have this luxury touch? Does it feel solid? So that's probably what those people are mainly focusing on. And I talked about it in the beginning already. Then there's a whole new group on the rise, or maybe has risen actually already, which is mainly driven by I call them the AI cruise mode crowd. So for them, it's all about not driving. So they want to be driven. They want to be moved. It's the car is for them a service, and it's for them it's all about what can I do in the car whilst I am not driving. I want to enjoy myself in the car. I want to maybe use augmented reality to explore the landscape, the different cities. Maybe I want to work. Maybe I want to relax in a very personalized way. So for them, it's not about the silliness. What they want is the maximum freedom of friction, basically. And that's two very distinct groups. And they want different things, and they need different cars. But on the other hand, since we're talking about circularity and AI, both of these groups can be serviced better with the use of AI, with the use of circular and modular cars. So if I'm thinking, just to give you one example, maybe the experience, the cruise mode crowd. If we are talking about modular cars that are the basis for any circularity concept, we could even think about designing, and that's maybe quite far out, we could even think about designing a car that you can transform from an SUV for one weekend to a pickup truck for the next weekend when you want to go surfing. Yeah. This whole modular design also makes it possible to, on the one hand side, make sure that your car is always up to date from a software point of view, but also from a exterior or interior point of view. So the hardware as well, and that can feed into the experience of the first group, so the driving purists, as well as the group of the the AI cruise mode crowd.
Simon, that was supposed to be one of the goals of the sharing economy, where you could have access to that pickup truck for your weekend gardening, and then the next weekend you could have access to an off-road car to go into the mountains, and then you could have access to, and you'd park it somewhere, and digitally somebody else would be in the sharing, and then you could have access to that cool sports car to take your new date on, or your wife on the anniversary of whatever. And that was supposed to be the goal, was you wouldn't even have to own the cars. You could have the experiences by being part of the sharing of cars economy. Did that ever happen? Does anybody know? Simon, Stefan, Tom, do we have that?
Volvo had a similar program where you were able to basically switch out cars on a request. hadn't done as well as what they thought originally. Obviously, several of the OEMs still have executive driver vehicle structures where they actually do that. You know, a convertible in the summer and a truck in the winter, et cetera. But in general, the end user has not completely jumped on board with that piece yet. So, and I think a lot of it is those individuals who want to keep the keys in the pocket, like we've talked about in the past,
Yes, we
are
have.
still looking for that particular, performance, execution, ability, irrespective of that vehicle sitting on their, the driveway 95% of the time. So I really think it's a cross between those that want to drive and those that don't. Those that want to drive want to have the ability to own, and those that don't want to drive don't. And
or autonomous. They want the autonomous experience so that, as Simon said, they could be enjoying or reading or relaxing or watching a movie or spacing out with VR and AR and all of that. Stefan, you want to join us? Anything you want to say on this?
Yeah. I met someone some years ago. He had something like a flat rate from a rental company. So he was able to get a car everywhere he was showing up because he was a consultant. He was traveling a lot. So he got a car everywhere. And so I think it didn't include, let's say, luxury cars, but at least he was able to get more or less different cars once he needed them. So with the limit. Yeah.
And I'm intrigued that Simon's talking about a car that becomes those cars for you. It becomes the other car. How much mechanical knowledge would that require, Simon, to have an SUV become a pickup truck, I can't become a sports car, but
I mean, there's like, I think there's 2 points. I think first of all, it's important to note that I think all those three groups or mobility models can coexist. And maybe we see a transition from that generally owning a car towards the car as a service concept. For once, I do know about that car rental scheme as well. And they have normally different kind of packages. So there is a luxury one as well, where you can choose the, I don't know, X5 BMW or whatever you want, and you can change it wherever you are. So you're going on holiday to Mallorca and there you can pick up a different car. So that makes it very, very easy then. This platform idea, let's say, where you have a circular modular car that could transform, not probably from one day to the other, to a different kind of function, but let's say it should be fairly easy to replace the SUV with a pickup function for the summer versus the winter. I think we're quite far away from a daily or a weekly change of the car, but I can well imagine that some changes, changing some exterior parts for a specific reason is feasible in the near future.
There's a new business for you, Simon. Stefan, go ahead.
Yeah, we have developed something like a prototype of that, but it's not a passenger vehicle alone. It's more or less a transport solution for people and goods for the inner city. We call it a city board, and it's actually working because it's a tractor unit, autonomously driving, and you can attach, or it attaches itself, passenger modules, transport modules, road cleaning modules, whatever. And our hope is that in the near future, this will be, let's say, the mobility of the inner city next to public transport and bikes and whatever. But it should replace all the passenger vehicles and the standard delivery vans, etc. And this could change the purpose hourly, let's say.
Absolutely.
But we never know if this will once be the future or not. At least we checked it, and technically it's feasible. But on the other hand, it will replace numerous things. And this is not so easy because there will be many complaints if someone says, or the municipality says, I want to have this system. Then the parcel delivery service will say, no, you cannot replace us. And then the road cleaners will say, no, you cannot replace us. And the other people will say, you cannot replace my car. etc. So even though it's probably much better, more efficient, cheaper, whatever you can imagine, maybe it will never be happening.
Maybe
That's
it's all about
sad
culture,
but true.
right? Culture
Yeah.
and habits and what people want and what they can afford and what they can be thrilled by, right, Simon? What would thrill them is, look what I can do with my car. I want to move to a prediction from Stefan, because I'm looking at we have 10 minutes left, plenty of time. I'm going to go to your prediction number 2, which is different than anything we've been talking about. You say fully circular automotive grade materials do not exist today. They will need advanced AI tools to achieve the necessary purity. That is automotive deep drawing steel grades. I have no idea what this means, Stefan. Why don't you break this down for the lay people who
Yeah.
don't know what this means? Go ahead.
Yeah, even for me as a plastics engineer, this is more about metallurgy. So it's I read, and it's the truth that even very low copper contents in steel are reducing the ductility. So you cannot deep draw the steel with copper content more than 0.06%. So this is almost nothing. The issue is if you are recycling in a vehicle, then you get much more copper into the steel. And this is why most of the steel ends up as construction steel. And to reach the purity or to keep the purity of the automotive steel, you need some sorting, you need something before. Sorting could be separating the parts or could be separating more or less the shredded material. And without AI tools, I guess it will be more or less impossible to do this sorting step and to get the closed loop recycling. And the closed loop, this is what, let's say, politics are working for, in particular in Europe. And this is also what I guess automotive companies would like to have at the end, to keep their material in the loop and not to be dependent from other companies or too many other companies and sources. So that's why I think AI will be crucial here. And this is one of the barriers that has to be overwhelmed. Yeah.
So much for an ecosystem and a lot of partners, right? Everybody wants to protect their own. Tom or Simon, anything you want to say back to Stefan?
I think this is the same kind of conversation we've been having across more than just automotive. I mean, you start looking at the plastic industries, you start looking at the recycling structures, et cetera. And that's always been an ongoing thing is, can you take the raw material that's going into a particular product and get it out the same way it got put in to be reusable? Or are you degrading that particular material as it's being used throughout the process itself? So those are definite things that plastics have gotten at least a couple of years head start on. Now the question becomes, can we do the same thing with metals and other pieces of material that would be going into the automotive car?
Thank you. I want to sneak in one more prediction here. We've got a couple minutes left. Tom, I'm picking your prediction number 4. I think everybody will like this. Robots and automation powered by AI will significantly enhance efficiency and reduce manual labor in all production manufacturing lines by the end of 2028. Here we are almost mid-2025. That's almost a hiccup away, right? Cutting human intervention and increasing efficiency by over 50%. You know what people are going to say? What are the people going to do who have those jobs? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to upskill or change their professions? But we'll have faster and better efficiency in maintaining our cars. So, Tom, why don't you give us a little bit of comfort here, if it's possible? Go ahead.
Well, I think a lot of this is going to be, using those skills at a higher structured task. So if you take, just take the rental car companies at this point in time. The rental car companies, when you're driving through for those stations that have basically done the upgrade, you go through a camera structure that does a full 360 picture of the car, verifies that against the last time it was actually pictured and taken out of the garage to make a call that says this particular piece had been changed or not. So I think a lot of what's coming off and the execution, which currently today requires minutes, and in some cases long minutes, can now be enhanced by doing things automatically with picture technology that allows for those exceptions to be handled on an ongoing basis, let alone taking that efficiencies back to the production structure that says, you know, this particular line needs adjustments on the doors, this particular line needs adjustments on the wheels, whatever it might be, to be able to catch that information almost instantaneously as compared to some of the recalls that have happened in the past where you're recalling, you know, 10,000, 100,000 vehicles because you don't know if that particular part's included or not. You now can track that down to a lot level, a line level, a shift level, and be able to reduce that frequency for when it occurs. Putting AI in place to be able to stop that from occurring quicker and get things turned around. So I think a lot of not so much people losing their jobs, but then taking that information and doing something with it immediately. So it's going to be upskilling upskilling those particular individuals to do other things besides what they're doing today.
Thank you very much. That leads me to the question of if AI were taking over that place where I went to have my oil changed, would a robot have come out and said, Ms. D, we are unable to service your car because we have a problem with the magnet under the oil pan. Please, 1.2 miles down the road, we will call ahead and tell our competitor to be happy to service you. Thank you for stopping by, and we promise in the future our customer reps will know that your car requires special kinds of maintenance and we're not capable of doing that. So you won't have to go twice in the same day to two places. Do you think a robot would help me with that? AI, Tom or Simon or Stefan?
I
What do you
wouldn't say
think?
help you with that exact conversation. Might be able to say this particular location is unavailable for your servicing. You suggest this, but
Yes.
long and short, I think you're going to see that. Plus, you know, if you even go to the nth degree of this, is that part available? You know, going back to your air filter piece, is the air filter available? Is
Yeah.
synthetic oil available, et cetera? So does it communicated, hey, it needs to have this happen? Has it communicated with those service areas you're going to go to? And those areas responded accordingly. So I think that's going to be something you'll start to see. And part of that robot's going to be, you know, can you service the particular customer based upon the technicians, based upon the parts, based upon the availability, or do I move over down somebody else? And I would say that most likely on a competition wise, that robot's going to say, well, location A, who's part of ours, can't do it, but location B can, and it may be 10 miles away versus, you know, down the street on a different competitor.
That's true. They might keep my business at another. You're absolutely right. Very, very interesting. Let's do a quick round of a quick prediction of when you think we will see some major enhancements, improvements, moving forward with the concept of automotive circularity in terms of parts not going to a landfill, not going to a junker, not rusting out behind the barn or wherever you live, wherever you put them. Will we see any real, I want to use the word inroads because it's a car term, I guess. Simon, why don't you just quickly give me a year when you think we'll see improvements?
Maybe two comments on that.
Go ahead.
I would give it probably three years, I would say, but it's not going to be. But I think the circular industry, the circular and modular design will be moving, of course, a lot slower because now we are designing those cars until they're market ready. Will take some time. The lifetime of a car, 15, 18 years. The main developments I think will be in how are we deconstructing a car, how do we recycle the car, and these technologies have to be developed and brought properly up to speed. So we have the same development that we had in the production up to like a very automated production. Also, we will see that also in the deconstruction of the car in the recycling processes, a lot with, of course, the help of AI and robots.
Thank you very much. We're just about out of time. One sentence, Stefan, because Tom just did his lab prediction. Stefan, one sentence. When do you think we'll see it? You agree with Simon? Maybe in 3 years? Yes or
Also
no?
saying I don't think about 3 years. I think about more than 3 years, but I would be open for 3 years.
Okay, I think well, okay, we'll see if we can make that happen. I want to thank you all. Don't go away. We'll talk afterwards. Here's my closing. As AI steers us through loops, not lines, and waste turns to wonder by smart designs, the road ahead glows green and bright, fueled by insight, vision, and data's light. Thanks to our futurists, Tom, Simon, and Stefan, who have all painted what's next, from circular goals to even more complex. With Bonnie D and her Scarlett Mic, you heard it all today. The future is in motion, and it's rolling our way. I never do a closing poem, Tom, but Sylvia insisted I want to play the music, and Jordan's ready to close us out. So don't go away. Here we go.
Are you tired of hearing the future is already here? We are too. That may have been yesterday's future, but today's future hasn't happened yet. Take a deep breath, tune out the hype, the noise, and turn up the volume. Savvy, Art of the Possible technology visionaries talking about how today's innovations right now are shaping every aspect of our real future. We'll laser focus our spotlight on buzzworthy tech like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, augmented reality, and lots more. Clear your calendar and open your mind for Technology Revolution, the future of now, with the most upbeat host on global radio, Bonnie D. Graham. Listen anywhere, anytime, on any device.
Oh, that was recorded 8 years ago, and I found it, and I took out the advertisements in it, and I love it. Everybody, thank you. Don't go away. We'll talk. Wave goodbye to LinkedIn. Wave goodbye to Facebook. Wave goodbye to YouTube. Jordan Henson, thanks for being my engineer on the Voice America Business Channel, and